You find yourself standing on the edge of an ancient Greek hillside, the warm golden light of dusk spilling over the rolling hills, casting long shadows and bathing the landscape in a soft glow. The breeze, gentle but persistent, ruffles the grass beneath your feet, its earthy scent mingling with the faint, distant salt of the sea. The chirping of crickets joins the hum of nature's rhythm, and you feel a certain tranquility settle within you. The day gently easing into night, you probably won't make it through this day without drifting off into a deep, peaceful slumber. But that's the idea, isn't it? Let's take a moment before we start. If you're new to this channel, I'd gently encourage you to like, subscribe, and say hello in the comments. Tell us where you're from, what time it is, where you are. You know, just so we feel a little more connected on this sleep-friendly adventure. Now, let's ease into tonight's journey. Our story begins with the trickster god Hermes. You might have heard of him, the charming little rascal of the Greek pantheon who wore winged sandals and a helmet that gave him the speed of a thought. But we're not here to talk about his escapades involving stealing cattle or outsmarting other gods. We're focusing on one of his more unexpected, though still very much in character, inventions, the lyre. One sunny afternoon, Hermes was walking through the fields when he came across a peculiar sight: his father, Zeus' cattle, grazing in the open. His mischievous mind started worry. Hermes, always one to find a use for anything, noticed the sound of the cows' bells jingling with each slow movement. Aha, he thought. What if, just maybe, he could create something with that? Naturally, in his infinite wisdom and boundless creativity, Hermes proceeded to kill one of the cows. But instead of just making a nice stew or wearing the hide, he did what any self-respecting trickster would. He carved the cow's intestines into strings and stretched them over a tortoise shell. The result, the world's first lyre, an instrument that would become an enduring symbol of music, art, and culture for centuries to come. Historians still debate whether Hermes was the first to discover music, or if the gods just gave him a convenient excuse to create something new. But one thing's for sure, his lyre changed the sound of the ancient world, and he became the god of music, poetry, and, of course, theft. But before you get too comfortable, there's one detail about Hermes that might surprise you. He wasn't just known for trickery and musical talent. He also had a certain unusual association with thieves and boundaries. His domain wasn't only about creating music. It was about creating space for movement and change, much like that cool breeze you're feeling right now. Remember that tortoise shell you imagined? It's still out there, tucked away somewhere in history. Hermes made sure of that, weaving together strands of creativity, chaos, and cow parts. In the end, we're left with an instrument that's both delicate and powerful, much like the quiet unfolding of the evening around you. A perfect way to close out a day, don't you think? The sky darkens a little more as the stars begin their evening dance, and you shift your weight slightly, feeling the coolness creeping in. The wind brushes through your hair, carrying with it the faint scent of pine and the mysterious hint of something ancient, something eternal. You hear the rustling of leaves, the whisper of nature around you. All the while, the concept of time seems to slow. You're not in a rush. There's no reason to hurry tonight. You're just here, surrounded by the peace of the world, ready to drift with the narrative. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, Hermes and his musical cows. You see, creating the lyre wasn't all Hermes had to offer. Oh no, he didn't stop at just making an instrument that could soothe the soul. No, he took it a step further As gods are wont to do, Hermes, being who he was, decided to use the lyre in a bit of a performance, because who wouldn't want to show off something so cleverly crafted? And here's where things take an interesting turn. Hermes used the lyre to charm Apollo, the god of the sun, music, and prophecy. At first, Apollo wasn't too thrilled with Hermes' new toy, but the trickster god played his part so well that even Apollo couldn't resist. The two gods exchanged gifts. Apollo, the god of light, gave Hermes the caduceus, the staff of peace, while Hermes gifted Apollo the lyre. It was a classic example of Hermes' ability to get exactly what he wanted by turning a mundane moment into a moment of divine barter. Apollo was charmed, quite literally, by the music that emerged from the humble cow and tortoise shell. Here's the interesting part. Though it's said that Apollo, having received the lyre, became so enamored with it that he would forever be linked to music, bringing it from the celestial realms to the mortal world. And that, my friend, is the kind of gift that lives on forever. As we ease deeper into this story, it's important to remember that not all gods and legends come from grand, heroic battles or glorious victories. Some, like Hermes, sneak in through unexpected doors through cleverness, creativity, and, yes, even the occasional cow. Did he invent the lyre to impress Apollo? Was it just an accident of his wandering, clever spirit? Historians will never fully agree, but it doesn't really matter, does it? The beauty lies in the simple truth. Music, like the wind, can come from anywhere, and from a cow. Now, as the evening darkens further, the cool breeze kisses your skin, and the soft sounds of the world wind down, we find ourselves on the cusp of something else. The wind, the lyre, the endless trickery of Hermes, all of it blending together in the quietest of moments. And just like that, with Hermes' invention in our minds, we move on to the next layer of history, a layer filled with unexpected wonders and quiet moments that rest just beneath the surface of time. But for now, relax. Let the sound of the ancient world fade into your dreams. You're safe here, in the comforting hum of Hermes' world, where a cow's gift to the gods becomes the music that connects us all. The night continues its quiet dance, the stars now brighter, the breeze gentler, as if the universe itself has settled in for a long, peaceful rest. As you let yourself sink deeper into the story, you might notice how history, in its most unexpected forms, has a way of settling into your bones like a familiar lullaby, gentle and persistent. But let's pause for a moment. Have you ever thought about how things tend to start in the most odd of ways? Take, for example, the concept of a god creating music from cow parts. It sounds strange, doesn't it? But history, when you really look at it, is a series of small oddities and surprising turns that have shaped our world in ways we often don't consider. We'll move from Hermes' lyre to another ancient figure whose story was just as quirky, though it doesn't involve any cows, or at least not directly. Now, let's talk about ancient Egypt. You've probably heard about the towering pyramids and the great pharaohs who ruled with godlike authority. But we're going to focus on something a little less glamorous, little more ... down to earth. We're talking about their love of beer. Yes, beer. In ancient Egypt, beer wasn't just a drink, it was a cornerstone of their daily life. It was consumed by everyone, rich and poor alike. In fact, beer was considered so essential that it was often used as currency. Imagine getting paid in bottles of beer instead of coins. While that might sound like a dream come true, it's actually one of the quirkiest facts of ancient Egyptian life. Historians are still debating the exact process by which beer was made back then. But it's believed that they brewed it from barley, which was mashed, fermented, and served thick, almost inconsistency. It wasn't quite the fizzy, crisp drink we're familiar with today. And while it wasn't considered alcoholic in the way we think of beer now, it still had a kick, a reminder that ancient life had its own rhythm. And sometimes that rhythm was a little hazy. But the real fun comes from the discovery of beer. In the tombs of the pharaohs, you see, beer wasn't just for the living. It was thought to be a necessary item for the afterlife as well. Archaeologists have found evidence of large ceramic jugs filled with beer, placed carefully with the deceased in their tombs. So, there you have it. Ancient Egyptians loved beer so much, they were willing to take it with them into the afterlife. That's dedication now. I know what you might be thinking. How could anyone possibly feel relaxed after hearing about beer and tombs? But trust me, there's something soothing in knowing that, whether it's a lyre made from a tortoise shell or beer in a tomb, history has a way of surprising us with its layers. It reminds us that we've always found strange, quirky ways to deal with the world around us, ways that connect us, no matter how bizarre they might seem. And speaking of layers, let's rewind a bit. Remember Hermes' invention of the lyre? Well, just like the beer in Egypt, the lyre had a much more profound impact than it might seem at first glance. In fact, the lyre became a symbol not just for Hermes, but for all things artistic in ancient Greece. From music to poetry, the lyre was the thread that wove together the creative soul of the Greek world. Imagine the songs that were sung with that very instrument, their melodies drifting through the Mediterranean breeze, echoing across time to us here tonight. But let's not get too carried away with these grand ideas. The truth is, the story of Hermes and his lyre isn't just about an instrument. It's about how creativity has always found a way into the world, no matter how it came into being. A bit of cow, a bit of trickery, and a touch of divine flair. It's the kind of thing that can make you look at the world differently. Just as the soft evening light makes everything look just a little more golden. Historians still argue about how much influence Hermes had on Greek art and music. Some say he was the true creator of music, while others believe that the gods were merely the instruments of a divine symphony. Regardless, the lyre became an icon, as timeless as the stars above you now. It's a reminder that sometimes the most important things in life start from the simplest of moments, the most unexpected of inspirations. As you settle back into the warmth of the night, take a deep breath. Let the image of Hermes, the trickster god, with his winged sandals and his mischievous grin, play you a quiet melody, one that stretches across centuries. That lyre, crafted from the unlikeliest of materials, still hums in the background of history, gentle, persistent, and quietly profound. Let yourself drift a little deeper now, for there's more to uncover. A story wrapped in layers of time. A bit like the breeze you feel on your skin is waiting just ahead. The night carries on. Each breath of wind now a little cooler, a little more settled. You feel the rhythm of the world quiet around you. The soft crickets sing their steady tune, and the distant rustle of leaves has become a lullaby for your senses. The stars above seem to grow closer, a cosmic blanket spreading over you, inviting you to rest beneath its silent watch. There's no rush tonight. There's no hurry. You're here, in this moment, and it's enough. As you let the weight of time sink into your bones, let's take a little detour. Let's leave the musical realms of Hermes and dive into something even more peculiar, if that's possible. This time, we're not headed to Greece or Egypt, but rather to the ancient heart of Rome. Now, the Romans, much like the Greeks, were known for their love of grand structures, vast amphitheaters, opulent temples, and triumphal arches. But underneath all that grandeur, there was another side to Roman life, a side that, perhaps, might surprise you. Their obsession with public baths. Yes, the Romans loved their baths. So much so that the public bathhouses, called thermae, became a fundamental part of daily life. For the average Roman citizen, these bathhouses were not just places to wash up. Oh no, they were social hubs, places of relaxation, intellectual exchange, and, well, a lot of gossip. A bit like your local coffee shop today, minus the coffee, of course. Picture this: the air thick with steam, the clattering of water pouring from marble fountains, the echo of footsteps on stone floors, and the scent of oils and perfumes mixing with the steam. Inside these bathhouses, Romans would not only bathe, but also engage in sports, eat, and socialize. And let's not forget about the palestra, the open-air courtyard where patrons would exercise. It was like a combination of a spa, gym, and social club, all rolled into one. Here's a curious tidbit. The bathhouses were heated using a system known as hypocausts, which were essentially underfloor heating systems powered by furnaces. Think of it like an ancient version of central heating, a marvel of engineering for its time. Romans would heat the floors and walls to create a warm, soothing environment, perfect for lounging after a long day. Quite the luxury, right? Historians still debate the exact social significance of these bathhouses. Were they simply places of hygiene, or were they essential spaces for the development of Roman social and political life? Some say the bathhouses were so central to Roman culture that important political discussions were often held there. In fact, some of the most influential decisions of the Roman Empire were made while people were lounging in a hot bath. Imagine that, decisions that shaped history, all while people relaxed in steamy, warm water. As strange as it may sound, the concept of wellness was already alive and thriving in the Roman world. And it wasn't just about personal hygiene, it was about creating a space where one could feel at ease, connect with others, and perhaps even gain a little clarity. A perfect setting for a decision about a kingdom, don't you think? Even gods could have used such a place for a little downtime, just like you might be doing now, easing into the rhythms of sleep. It's hard not to see the parallels between these ancient bathhouses and the modern world we live in. After all, the essence of what the Romans sought remains with us today. We still look for moments of connection, relaxation, and rejuvenation in the places we choose to unwind. Maybe it's a bath or a hot shower, a cup of tea, or just lying down to sleep. And just like that, the Romans knew that relaxation, truly letting go of the world, was key to keeping the mind clear and the spirit strong. Remember the warm feeling of the bath, the air thick with steam, and the sound of laughter around you. That, too, is history. It's the quiet moments that sometimes hold the most power. Now, as we slowly drift further into the night, let's linger on that idea for just a moment longer. Imagine yourself back in those Roman thermae, surrounded by the soft murmur of conversation and the occasional splash of water. Can you feel the heat, the warmth, the relaxation? It's a timeless place, much like the stillness of this moment, right now. And with that, we turn our thoughts back to the more distant corners of history. Just as the Romans created their own form of leisure and connection, so too did other civilizations. Some left behind grand structures, while others left their mark in simpler ways. In moments of creativity, even in something as unexpected as the invention of a lyre. As the wind gently shifts again, a reminder of the eternal flow of time. We find ourselves on the cusp of another story, one that might just surprise you as much as Hermes, lyre, or the steamy Roman bathhouses. But for now, relax. Let the soothing rhythms of the night, like the warm waters of a Roman bath, wash over you. Let everything else fade away as history quietly whispers its secrets to those who are willing to listen. The cool night air has wrapped itself around you. The world now quiet, save for the steady rhythm of the crickets. The stars are bright above, a scattering of diamonds against the velvet sky, and the peaceful stillness of the moment beckons you to sink deeper into the story. You feel the weight of time, ancient yet comforting, pulling you gently downward, like a deep sigh of relief. Now, as the evening settles, let's move forward in our journey. We leave the world of the Romans and their steaming baths behind, and instead, let's travel to the distant shores of ancient China. The air here is thick with the scent of incense, and the night sky feels closer, as if the stars themselves were drawn into the quiet solitude of this place. China, with its long history of emperors, dynasties, and untold wisdom, is home to one of the most curious and quiet moments in all of history. This is a place where the boundaries of art, culture, and science were often blurred, and where ideas about the world were often revolutionary. But today, we're not here to talk about the Great Wall or the terracotta warriors. No, tonight, we are going to talk about an ancient Chinese invention that you might not expect: the humble compass. The compass, as simple as it seems, has a profound story. Its origins trace back to the Han Dynasty, around the 2nd century BCE. Early Chinese compass devices were made of lodestone, a naturally magnetized mineral. These magnetic stones would align with the Earth's magnetic field, allowing navigators to find direction with incredible precision. But here's the twist: while the compass helped the Chinese navigate both land and sea, it wasn't originally used for navigation at all. Instead, it was a tool used for feng shui, the ancient practice of harmonizing humans with their surrounding environment. Historians still wonder how it evolved from a tool of spiritual alignment into a practical instrument of travel. The journey from divination to navigation is a curious one. Some believe that the compass was originally used by geomancers, who would use the tool to find auspicious spots for building homes and cities. It wasn't until the compass was used by the military around the 4th century CE that it became truly essential for seafaring and long-distance travel. So, you could say the compass started off as a very spiritual object, before becoming a literal guide for travelers. But think about that for a moment: the very tool that we still rely on today to guide us across oceans, through unfamiliar lands, and even when we wander through life itself, was once used to find the right spot to build a house. It's a beautiful example of how tools evolve, change, and, in some cases, outgrow their original purpose. And as you consider the journey of the compass, let's remember that the way we use things today often has little to do with how they were first created. This is especially true when we look at ancient inventions, how many of them started as small, seemingly trivial objects and later became transformative. The compass, like the lyre, began with a different intent, yet it became something that shaped the world. The Chinese were no strangers to this kind of innovation. The same people who gave us the compass also gifted us with paper, gunpowder, and printing. These were inventions that started in one place, at one time, and ended up changing the course of human history. The compass, though, always seems to stand out in the most subtle way. Unlike the grandeur of gunpowder or the worldwide reach of paper, the compass simply points the way. It's a quiet guide, a constant reminder that sometimes the most transformative things in life are those that go unnoticed, quietly shaping the course of events, without fanfare, and as you take a deep breath, letting the cool night air settle around you, remember that these quiet stories are the ones that often last the longest. Like the gentle turning of a compass needle, each moment is part of a much larger journey, one that stretches across time, across history, across the stars. Historians still debate whether the compass was truly the catalyst for China's later dominance in navigation, or whether it was simply the right tool at the right time. What's certain, though, is that the compass, like all great inventions, showed us how to find our way, not just across land, but through time itself. As you listen to the soft rhythm of the night, imagine that same compass, its needle gently spinning, finding its way. Just as you find your way through these stories, let it be a reminder that there is always something guiding us, even when we can't quite see it. Now, as the winds grow quieter, we move on to our next tale story that begins, as all great stories do, with a seemingly trivial object that changed the world. But first, let the stillness of this moment surround you, and breathe deeply as we ease into the next chapter. The stillness of the night feels deeper now, the world growing softer. Around you, the stars above a steady presence. You feel the calming embrace of the moment, the quiet connection between past and present, like a slow current running just beneath the surface of this peaceful evening. There's no rush, just the gentle pull of time leading you forward in this journey. Let's travel a little further back in time, to a place far from the bustling markets and grand structures of the ancient empires. Let's slip into the heart of the ancient Middle East, where civilizations arose, thrived, and sometimes fell, leaving behind mysteries wrapped in sand and stone. One such mystery comes from a time that stretches even further back than the Romans or the Egyptians, the Sumerians. Around 5,000 years ago, they're often credited with creating the earliest known form of writing, cuneiform. But before we dive into their writing systems, let's talk about something that sounds a little more ordinary, but is anything but. The Sumerians are often remembered for their monumental achievements, but they also had a somewhat mundane yet crucial invention that played a key role in their civilization: the wheel. Now, before you brush this off as a well-of-course moment, consider this. The wheel wasn't always used for what you think. The earliest wheels weren't used for transportation at all. No, the Sumerians first invented wheels for one purpose: pottery. Historians still debate whether the invention of the wheel was a lucky accident or the result of careful planning. The first known wheels were simple discs that, when turned, helped shape clay into smooth, symmetrical pottery. It's a little mind-boggling when you think about it. This small, seemingly insignificant tool, the wheel, was used to create beautiful pottery before it was ever used to help chariots race across the plains. And yet, even though the wheel began with such humble beginnings, it eventually evolved into the cornerstone of transportation, machinery, and nearly everything we use today. From the wheels of a cart to the ones beneath your feet as you walk across the floor, the legacy of the Sumerian wheel has come to define human progress. Imagine how different the world would be without it. But here's the curious thing. Despite its monumental impact, the wheel wasn't immediately adopted by every culture. Some civilizations, such as the ancient Chinese, didn't use wheels for transportation until much later. They had their own methods of moving heavy loads, using sleds and other innovative techniques. This raises an interesting point sometimes, even when the tools are available. Different societies find their own paths, making progress in unique ways. What makes the story of the Sumerian wheel so fascinating is that it wasn't just a practical invention. It was a reflection of how, in every society, even the simplest of tools can change the course of history. The wheel's transition from pottery to transportation speaks to the way inventions evolve, often in unpredictable directions. And just as the Sumerians unknowingly set the foundation for transportation with their pottery wheels, you might find that the most important shifts in life often start with the smallest of changes. Maybe it's a quiet thought or a subtle decision, but like the wheel, these small moments have the power to reshape everything. As the night deepens, let the image of the wheel spin slowly in your mind. Picture it, turning in the quiet, dusty air of ancient Sumer, shaping the clay. It's a quiet, powerful motion, much like the steady flow of history itself. The wheel, much like the rest of the stories we've shared tonight, serves as a reminder that even the most unassuming beginnings can create ripples that change the world. So, as you breathe in the cool air, remember that you, too, are part of this ongoing journey, turning slowly through time, guided by the subtle but unyielding force of history. The wheel has turned, and with it, the world has shifted. Now, as the stars continue their eternal dance above, we gently move forward to the next story that's waiting to unfold. And just like that, we ease into the quiet continuation of the night's journey. The night is rich with silence, the kind that only the vastness of the cosmos can create. The sky, dotted with stars, feels like a blanket of soft, glowing light stretched across the heavens. The world below, bathed in the glow of the distant moon, seems to settle deeper into the quiet. You feel it too, the weight of time slipping by unnoticed, as if the moments themselves have grown gentler, softer, as the night wraps itself around you like a comforting embrace. Let's take a small leap forward, still walking the path of ancient history, but this time we'll stop in a place you might not expect. The city of Babylon. Now, Babylon, famous for its gardens, its walls, and its towering ziggurat, was a place of immense power and mystery. But there's one element of Babylonian life that you might not know about, one that isn't always included in the grand stories of kings and conquests: their love of beer. Yes, beer again. But this time, it's different. The Babylonians didn't just drink beer for relaxation or socializing. No, they had an entire culture surrounding it. In fact, beer was so important to the Babylonians that it was actually used as part of religious rituals. Priestesses would drink beer during sacred ceremonies, offering it to the gods as a symbol of devotion. Historians are still unsure exactly why beer became such a significant part of Babylonian religious life. Was it because the beer was thought to bring the gods closer, or was it simply a way to get everyone in the right mood for a good ceremony? No one really knows, but one thing is clear. Beer in ancient Babylon was more than just a drink. It was a conduit to the divine. As you sit back, imagine the scene: the clinking of clay mugs, the rich, foamy beer filling the air with its scent. As priests and priestesses gather in the warm glow of candlelight, there's a sense of ritual, a connection between the earthly and the divine. It's as if the beer itself carries the prayers of the people, offered up in hopes of favor from the gods. And in that moment, the mundane act of drinking beer becomes something sacred, something much larger than the sum of its parts. A reminder that, in every culture, the ordinary can be transformed into the extraordinary when given meaning, when given purpose. Now, as you breathe in the night air, remember that history, much like the beer in Babylon, is full of surprising depths. Even the smallest, most ordinary things can be woven into the fabric of something much larger. Just as we're sitting here, in the quiet, drifting between moments, remember that history is always with us, silently shaping the world, and with that, we drift forward into the next chapter, where the ordinary continues to surprise us in ways we might never expect. Let the night continue its gentle unfolding, and let the stories of the past ease you into a deeper rest. The night has fully settled now, the world bathed in a cool, calming darkness. The stars seem to blink lazily above, like old friends nodding off to sleep. The steady whisper of the wind continues, a soft lullaby, as if the very earth is winding down for a long, peaceful rest. You feel the weight of the past pressing gently against you, like a comforting blanket, and the world around you fades into a haze of quiet serenity. Tonight, as we continue our journey through the past, let's step into another world, one of sand, stone, and pyramids. Egypt, with its timeless beauty, has long captured the imagination of those who ponder the great wonders of the world. But instead of focusing on the monumental pyramids or the grandeur of the pharaohs, let's look at something a little more subtle, the role of medicine in ancient Egypt. Egyptians were pioneers in many fields, from architecture to astronomy, and their approach to health was no exception. While we tend to think of ancient medical practices as crude and primitive, the Egyptians had surprisingly sophisticated methods for dealing with illness and injury. Their understanding of anatomy, while not as advanced as ours today, was still far beyond what many people of their time might have known. In fact, the Egyptians were among the first to develop the concept of hygiene, a word that may seem almost too modern for an ancient civilization, but nonetheless, the Egyptians had a strong emphasis on cleanliness. Bathing was not only a personal ritual, but a social one. They believed that cleanliness kept away evil spirits and disease. They had a system of using various oils and perfumes to maintain hygiene, and were also known to have developed early forms of toothpaste. Historians still debate the extent to which Egyptian medicine was effective or even scientific. Some suggest that the Egyptians were superstitious in their approach, relying on gods and magic to cure illness. Others point out the impressive variety of treatments they had, ranging from herbal remedies to surgical procedures. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in between. The Egyptians were simultaneously both pragmatic and mystical, a combination that made their approach to medicine unique. And while many of their treatments might seem rudimentary by today's standards, there is one thing that the Egyptians knew better than anyone else: the importance of the mind-body connection. Their doctors understood that mental and emotional health played a crucial role in physical well-being. Today, we might call it mindfulness or holistic health, but the Egyptians were already practicing it thousands of years ago, using relaxation techniques and prayer to calm their patients' minds before treating their physical ailments. Imagine a physician in ancient Egypt standing in a sun-dappled courtyard with a patient, offering both a remedy for the body and a word of comfort for the spirit. There's something calming in that image, isn't there? The idea that health wasn't just about the body, but about the person as a whole. It's a perspective that has endured through centuries, still echoing in the modern approach to health and wellness down as you breathe deeply, letting the cool night air settle in. Picture yourself in ancient Egypt, lying on a warm, soft mat, surrounded by the scent of incense and oils. A gentle hand applies balm to your forehead, and the sound of distant music hums in the background. The stillness of the moment is as profound as the desert itself, vast and infinite, carrying you into the peace of the night, just like the rest of the stories we've shared tonight. The quiet wisdom of ancient Egypt invites us to slow down and consider the deeper layers of history. Sometimes, the most profound moments are those that we don't immediately see, the quiet moments when we allow ourselves to rest, to heal, to simply be. As the stars blink above you, let the wisdom of the ancient Egyptians guide you into a peaceful place. A place where the mind and body are in harmony, and where even the smallest moments are worthy of attention and care. With that, we move forward, as always, into the quiet continuation of our journey, knowing that even the smallest details, like the perfumes of ancient Egypt, hold secrets that carry us through time, gently but persistently into the night. The quiet has grown deeper, richer now, the world around you barely stirring. The breeze, still gentle but colder now, carries the weight of time in each gust. The stars seem closer, like the whispers of history itself, calling you to listen carefully. And as you sink deeper into the rhythm of the night, the stories of the past stretch out before you like an endless road. Let's continue this journey, stepping away from the sun-kissed sands of Egypt and heading into the misty highlands of the ancient Celtic tribes. Picture yourself standing on a rolling green hill, the air fresh and crisp, the sky overhead a soft, pale grey. There's a sense of stillness in the land, as though time itself has slowed, allowing you to breathe in the peace of the moment. The Celts, much like their ancient neighbors, were a people who left a deep mark on history, even if much of their story has been lost to time. They were known for their art, their warriors, and their complex spirituality, which blended nature with the divine. But what you might not know about the Celts is that they were also pioneers in a field we often overlook: medicine and healing. The Celts had a rich tradition of herbal remedies and natural treatments. They were intimately connected to the land, and their knowledge of plants and their medicinal properties was vast. Much of their medical knowledge was passed down orally from healer to healer, creating a web of wisdom that reached across generations. In many ways, the Celtic approach to healing was rooted in the belief that nature held the answers to all ailments. Historians are still fascinated by the role of the Druids in Celtic society. Were they priests, healers, or both? Some scholars suggest that the Druids had a deep understanding of the body and its ailments, using plants, roots, and other natural remedies to heal wounds and cure sickness. Others argue that their role was more mystical, using their connection to the natural world to channel divine energy for healing purposes. Whatever the case, it's clear that the Celts had a profound respect for the body and its needs, and they saw healing as a sacred practice in the quiet solitude of the highlands. Imagine yourself sitting beside an ancient druid. He offers you a cup of tea made from herbs gathered from the surrounding hills. The warmth of the drink soothes you as you listen to the druid speak softly of the land, the plants, and the deep connection between the earth and your body. There's no hurry, no rush, only the slow, calming rhythm of nature, the sound of the wind in the trees, and the steady beat of your own heart. This connection to nature, to the earth beneath your feet, is one of the most profound aspects of Celtic healing. It's a reminder that we are not separate from the world around us, but intimately linked to it, just as the past is linked to the present. The Celts understood that healing, both physical and spiritual, comes from embracing the world around us and listening closely to what it has to offer now. Let the image of the Druid and the rolling hills settle in your mind as you drift deeper into the peacefulness of the night. The stories of ancient peoples, like the Celts, remind us that there is wisdom in the simplest things, the plants that grow at our feet, the air we breathe, and the quiet rhythms of life. And with that, we continue onward into the next chapter of history, knowing that the threads of the past are always there, weaving their way into the present. Let the calm of the Celtic highlands carry you deeper into the comfort of the night, where time slows and the world feels at peace. The night is now at its deepest, the stars overhead a constant presence, their faint light a gentle guide as the world around you continues its serene stillness. The cool air seems to hold its breath, as if the earth itself is listening to the quiet stories we tell. There's no rush here, no need for hurry, only the slow, rhythmic movement of time, drawing you deeper into this world of ancient wonders. As we move forward in our journey, let's travel from the misty hills of the Celts to the dense forests of northern Europe. Picture yourself standing beneath the towering trees, their branches interwoven above you like a canopy of leaves, casting soft shadows on the forest floor. The scent of moss and earth fills the air, and the distant call of birds echoes through. The trees, their song a quiet, soothing melody. In these forests, long ago, lived a people who were as connected to the earth as any who came before them. The Norse, known for their seafaring prowess and their complex pantheon of gods and legends, also had a deep connection to the natural world. But one of the most fascinating aspects of Norse culture was their approach to medicine and healing. The Norse practiced a form of healing that was rooted in both practical and mystical beliefs. They used herbs, potions, and natural remedies to treat ailments, much like the Celts did. However, they also believed in the power of the gods and the spiritual world to aid in the healing process. They saw illness as not only a physical affliction, but a spiritual one as well, requiring both physical and metaphysical treatment. One of the most interesting aspects of Norse healing practices was their use of runes, symbols that were believed to hold magical properties. The runes were used for a variety of purposes, from divination to healing. It was believed that inscribing runes on the body or on objects could protect the wearer from illness or injury, or even aid in the healing process. The power of the runes in the Norse worldview was a way of connecting to the divine, to the forces of nature that governed the world. Historians still debate the exact role that runes played in Norse medicine. Some believe that the runes were purely symbolic, while others argue that they held a deeper, mystical power that could influence both the physical and spiritual realms. What's clear, however, is that the Norse had a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit. Healing wasn't just about treating the body, it was about restoring balance to the entire person, body, and soul. As you sit in this ancient forest, the wind gently rustling the leaves above you, imagine a Norse healer sitting before you, carving runes into a small stone. With each stroke of the knife, they are not just marking the stone, they are invoking the power of the universe, calling upon the gods and the forces of nature to aid in the healing process. There's a quiet, sacred energy in this moment, a sense that healing is not just a physical act, but a spiritual one as well. This belief in the connection between the body and the spirit is something that resonates deeply, even in today's world. The idea that healing is not just about medicine, but about balance, peace, and harmony is one that transcends time. It's a reminder that sometimes the path to true health lies in understanding the deeper unseen forces that shape our lives. So, as you breathe in the fresh, cool air of the forest, let the stillness of the moment wash over you. Imagine the power of the runes, the quiet wisdom of the Norse healers, and the deep connection between body, mind, and spirit. Let this image settle into your thoughts as you drift deeper into sleep. The Norse believed in the quiet strength of nature, the spiritual power of healing, and the wisdom of the earth. And just like that, with every breath you take, you too are connected to the ancient rhythms of the world. And so, as the night draws on, we continue our journey, knowing that history is not just about the grand events and the famous names, about the quiet moments, the simple acts, and the deep wisdom that has been passed down through the ages. Let yourself rest now in the quiet embrace of the world's ancient past, where time slows and everything feels just as it should be. The night seems to stretch on forever now, the stars twinkling ever so softly, casting their faint glow over the world. The breeze, now colder and sharper, brushes against your skin, carrying with it the whispers of history. The stillness has settled in completely, and the silence feels almost sacred, as if the world is holding its breath, waiting for the next story to unfold. Tonight, as we drift deeper into the past, let's leave the dense forests of the Norse behind and head towards the warm shores of ancient Greece. Picture yourself standing at the edge of the Aegean Sea, the soft sound of waves lapping against the shore, the scent of salt in the air, and the warm sun on your skin. The landscape is bathed in a soft, golden light, and the world seems to stretch out before you, infinite and full of promise. In ancient Greece, as we've seen with Hermes and his lyre, creativity and innovation flowed like the rivers that wound through the land. The Greeks were a people known for their philosophy, their art, and their architecture. But one of the most intriguing aspects of their society was their approach to medicine and healing. The Greeks were among the first to develop a systematic approach to medicine, one that sought to understand the causes of illness and the best ways to treat it. At the heart of Greek medicine was the figure of Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine. Hippocrates was a revolutionary thinker who believed that disease was not caused by divine punishment or supernatural forces, but by natural imbalances in the body. His approach to medicine was grounded in observation, diagnosis, and treatment, based on the body's natural rhythms and needs. Historians still look back on Hippocrates' work with admiration, as it laid the foundation for modern medicine. He emphasized the importance of diet, exercise, and the patient's overall well-being, rather than relying solely on supernatural explanations for illness. This rational, scientific approach to health was groundbreaking, and it marked the beginning of a new era in medical thought. Hippocrates' ideas were revolutionary in their time, and his teachings became the cornerstone of medical education for centuries. His legacy, in many ways, lives on today. The famous Hippocratic Oath, which doctors still take today, is a direct result of his work. It's a reminder that the practice of medicine is not just a science, but a Kalinga responsibility to care for the sick and to act with integrity and compassion. As you stand on the shores of ancient Greece, imagine a healer walking among the people, offering gentle words of advice, helping them understand their bodies, and guiding them on their path to health. The Greek approach to healing wasn't just about treating symptoms, it was about understanding the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. And just like that, with each breath, you are drawn into the rhythms of this ancient world, the wisdom of Hippocrates, the quiet whispers of the healers, and the deep understanding of the body's needs. Let these ideas settle into your mind as the night deepens, and allow yourself to rest in the calm, knowing that the stories of the past are still with us, guiding us. Even now, as the cool breeze carries the scent of the sea and the quiet sounds of the waves, let the peace of this moment wash over you. The world is vast, but in this quiet moment, it is small and safe, and you are at peace with it all. The world around you seems to have grown even quieter, the night stretching endlessly before you. The stars twinkle above, a quiet reminder of the vastness of time and space, while the soft murmur of the wind reminds you that everything, even in its stillness, is connected. The air is crisp now, cool against your skin, and the world feels timeless, as if the past and present have merged into a single, peaceful moment. As we continue our journey, let's now leave behind the warm shores of Greece and make our way to the heart of another ancient civilization, one whose story is filled with both grandeur and mystery: Mesopotamia. Picture yourself standing on the banks of the Tigris River, the water flowing gently in the quiet night, the distant hum of the city just beginning to fade as the world settles into sleep. The air smells of earth and water, and you can feel the weight of history in every step. Mesopotamia, often called the cradle of civilization, was home to some of the earliest known cities, such as Ur, Babylon, and Nineveh. This ancient land, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, saw the rise of empires, the invention of writing, and the birth of many of the concepts we still use today. But amidst the towering ziggurats and sprawling cities, the Sumerians and Babylonians had a much more humble but equally significant achievement: the development of the first known legal codes. The people of Mesopotamia were among the first to understand the need for laws that governed not just the actions of the elites, but of everyone. The most famous of these laws was the Code of Hammurabi, a set of legal principles inscribed on a stone pillar. This code, dating back to around 1754 BCE, is one of the earliest and most complete written legal documents in history. Historians are still amazed at how advanced the Code of Hammurabi was for its time. It covered everything from property rights to family law to commercial transactions and even criminal punishment. The law sought to create a sense of order and justice in a society that was growing increasingly complex. But here's the fascinating part: while many of the laws seem harsh by modern standards, an eye for an eye, as it goes, they were revolutionary for their time. They offered a framework for resolving disputes and bringing about a sense of fairness in a world that had none. What's even more intriguing is that the Code of Hammurabi wasn't just a set of legal guidelines. It was a statement of the divine. Will Hammurabi, the king who commissioned the code, was said to have received it from the god Shamash, the god of justice. This divine connection made the laws not just a human invention, but a sacred decree, binding everyone to the will of the gods. Imagine standing in the heart of ancient Babylon, the streets quiet as the city sleeps, but in your mind's eye, you see the people going about their daily lives, governed by the laws set forth by Hammurabi. There's a sense of order in the air, a quiet authority that makes life in such a sprawling, busy place feel structured. These laws were meant to protect the weak, ensure justice, and maintain order. And even though many of the details of these laws might seem foreign to us today, there's something profoundly calming about the idea of a society built on the principle of fairness. Historians still debate how effective the Code of Hammurabi truly was. Some argue that it brought a measure of justice and stability to Mesopotamia, while others believe it was more about asserting royal power than protecting the common people. Regardless, its influence on later legal systems cannot be denied. It was the beginning of a long tradition of written laws that would shape the course of human history. As the cool breeze sways the leaves above you, imagine how these early laws might have felt to the people living under them. Were they comforting, knowing that there was a system in place for justice? Or did they feel the weight of the law hanging over them, knowing that punishment could be swift and severe? There's something to be said for both the comfort and the anxiety that laws can bring to a society. They can create order, but they can also impose boundaries. So, as you breathe deeply and let the quiet of the Mesopotamian night settle over you, think about how these early codes of law continue to shape our lives. Whether it's the rights we enjoy today or the systems of justice we take for granted, the seeds of these ideas were planted long ago in the dusty streets of ancient cities like Babylon. Let the image of the towering ziggurat, the flowing river, and the deep sense of order in the land of Mesopotamia fade softly into your mind. These are the stories that continue to echo through time, guiding us, even now, through the complexities of our own world. And with that, we move on into the quiet continuation of this journey through history, knowing that the whispers of the past are always with us, gently shaping the present and guiding us through the night. The night has grown even deeper, the stars above shining with an almost ethereal glow, their soft light guiding us through the silence. The air is colder now, the earth beneath your feet cool and steady, as if holding you in place, grounded in time. The world around you is still, save for the occasional rustle of the wind, and everything feels in perfect harmony. As we continue, let's make our way across the vast expanse of time, traveling from the ancient cities of Mesopotamia to the golden age of ancient India. Picture yourself standing at the edge of the Ganges River, the water flowing smoothly in the quiet of the evening, its surface reflecting the stars above. The air is thick with the scent of incense and spices, and the sound of distant chanting can be heard in the background, adding a sacred layer to the atmosphere. In ancient India, spirituality and philosophy were intricately woven into the fabric of everyday life. The people of India sought wisdom through meditation, philosophy, and devotion. They believed in the interconnectedness of all things, seeing the universe as a complex web of energy, life, and consciousness. But there's one aspect of Indian history that is often overlooked: the development of early medical practices, particularly in the form of Ayurveda. Ayurveda, which means the science of life, is one of the oldest systems of medicine in the world. It's based on the idea that health is a balance of the body, mind, and spirit. The ancient Indian practitioners of Ayurveda sought to understand the body's natural rhythms and how it could be kept in harmony with the environment. Unlike Western medicine, which often focuses on treating symptoms, Ayurveda looks at the whole person, aiming to prevent disease before it starts. Historians are still fascinated by the deep knowledge of Ayurveda. Some of the earliest texts on the subject, like the Charaka Samhita and the Sushruta Samhita, date back to around 500 BCE and contain detailed descriptions of diseases, treatments, and surgical procedures. The practitioners of Ayurveda used a variety of natural remedies, including herbs, oils, and minerals, to treat everything from digestive issues to skin conditions. What's particularly remarkable about Ayurveda is its holistic approach. The ancient Indian healers understood that mental and emotional well-being were just as important as physical health. They believed that the mind could influence the body and vice versa, and that achieving balance in both was the key to living a healthy, long life. This perspective is one that continues to resonate today, as many modern practices focus on mind-body wellness. Imagine sitting beside the calm waters of the Ganges, watching the ripples move gently across the surface. As an Ayurvedic healer explains, the principles of balance and harmony. There's a sense of serenity in the air, as if the very land and water are in sync with the peaceful flow of life itself. The practice of Ayurveda isn't just about healing, it's about understanding how to live in harmony with the world around you, to find peace within yourself, and to stay balanced amidst the complexities of life. As you let this image settle in, you may notice how the teachings of Ayurveda mirrors some of the themes we've explored tonight, how ancient cultures sought to understand and heal the whole person, to create harmony between body, mind, and spirit. These ancient practices have endured for thousands of years, and they continue to offer wisdom to those who seek balance and health. And so, as you breathe deeply and relax into the quiet of the night, let the peaceful wisdom of Ayurveda carry you deeper into rest, knowing that the secrets of the past are still with us, offering their calm guidance through the ages. The world feels even quieter now, as though the night itself has grown deeper and more still. The breeze is softer, cooler, and it seems to carry the weight of centuries within its gentle flow. The stars are like tiny, distant lanterns, casting their faint glow over the world, guiding us forward in this journey through time. Each breath you take is slow and steady, as if the very air is inviting you to let go, to ease into the flow of history tonight. We're going to venture further into the past, away from the sacred waters of the Ganges, and head into the ancient lands of the Chinese emperors. Picture yourself walking along the Great Wall of China, the massive stone structure stretching out before you, its ancient stones worn by centuries of wind and rain. The sky above is clear, the evening stars twinkling softly, and the crisp night air carries the scent of pine and the distant echo of history. China, with its rich history of dynasties, philosophies, and inventions, has long been one of the most influential civilizations in the world. But tonight, we're going to focus on one of the most fascinating aspects of ancient China, their contributions to medicine and the understanding of the human body. One of the earliest known systems of medicine in China was rooted in the philosophy of yin and yang, the belief that everything in the universe, including the human body, is made up of opposing forces that must be kept in balance. This dualistic worldview formed the foundation of traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, which focused on maintaining harmony between the body's internal energies. Historians are still fascinated by the enduring influence of TCM. Ancient Chinese practitioners believed that health was a state of balance between the body's energy, or qi, pronounced qi, and the forces of nature. They understood that the body's energy could be disrupted by illness, stress, or injury, and they sought to restore balance through techniques like acupuncture, herbal remedies, and massage. One of the key practices of TCM is acupuncture, which involves inserting thin needles into specific points on the body to stimulate energy flow and restore balance. This practice dates back thousands of years, with the first written records of acupuncture appearing around 100 BCE. The ancient Chinese believed that the body's energy flowed through a network of channels, known as meridians, and that by manipulating these points, they could promote healing and restore health. But acupuncture wasn't the only tool in the ancient Chinese medical toolkit. They also relied heavily on herbal remedies, which were carefully crafted from plants, minerals, and animal products. The famous Shenong Ben Cao Jing, an ancient Chinese pharmacopoeia, contains detailed descriptions of hundreds of medicinal plants and their uses. Some of the herbs listed in this ancient text are still used in modern Chinese medicine today, a testament to the enduring wisdom of ancient healers. What's particularly fascinating about TCM is its holistic approach to health. It wasn't just about treating symptoms. It was about understanding the whole person, their lifestyle, emotions, and environment, and how those factors influenced their health. Much like Ayurveda, which we discussed earlier, TCM sees the body and mind as deeply interconnected, with the belief that true health can only be achieved when balance is maintained across all aspects of a person's life. As you stand on the Great Wall, looking out over the vast, rolling landscape of ancient China, imagine an ancient healer walking through a village, carrying a pouch filled with herbs and remedies. Perhaps they are preparing to perform acupuncture on a patient, or maybe they are mixing a herbal tonic to restore balance. The calm, deliberate movements of the healer are a reflection of the philosophy that guides their work, a belief in the body's ability to heal itself if it is given the right care and attention. This connection between the body, mind, and nature is something that resonates across cultures. It's a reminder that, no matter where we are in the world, the pursuit of health and well-being is a universal goal. The practices of ancient Chinese medicine have endured through centuries, adapting and evolving, yet always rooted in the fundamental belief that balance is the key to health. As you relax into the peaceful atmosphere of this ancient landscape, let the calm wisdom of Chinese medicine wash over you. Imagine the healing energy flowing through your body, restoring balance and peace, just as it has for countless people over the centuries. The secrets of the past are still with us, guiding us in ways we may not even realize, helping us find harmony within ourselves and with the world around us. And now, as we ease deeper into the night, the quiet stillness of the Great Wall fades softly into the distance. The past is never far behind us, and with each step, we move closer to the next chapter of our journey. Let the ancient knowledge of China settle into your mind, and feel the weight of time gently slip away as you drift deeper into rest. The night is now thick with silence, the air cool and refreshing, as if the entire world is holding its breath. The stars above seem endless, their soft light a comforting presence, guiding you through the vast, gentle darkness. There's a sense of calm that fills the air, as though everything is exactly as it should be, and all you need to do is relax, breathe deeply, and surrender to the quiet rhythm of the universe. Asterisk. As we continue our journey, let's leave the ancient lands of China behind and step into the world of ancient Rome. Picture yourself walking along the cobbled streets of the Roman Empire, the sound of footsteps echoing in the quiet night. The city is alive, even in the stillness, and you can hear the faint murmur of voices in the distance, the rustling of togas, and the clink of coins as traders pack up their wares for the night. Rome, with its grand architecture, its powerful emperors, and its vast empire, has always been a symbol of strength and order. But amidst the grandeur of Rome, there's another side to the story, the quieter, more personal practices of Roman life. One of the most fascinating aspects of Roman society was their approach to health and medicine. The Romans were keenly aware of the importance of personal hygiene and health, and they built some of the most advanced public health systems of the ancient world. Roman baths were legendary, and their public health infrastructures such as aqueducts and sanitation systems was a marvel of engineering. But Romans didn't just focus on physical health. They also understood the importance of mental well-being, much like the Greeks before them. The Romans had a deep interest in philosophy and the mind. Roman doctors and philosophers, such as Galen, who lived in the 2nd century CE, made significant contributions to the understanding of the human body. Galen, in particular, was one of the most influential figures in the history of medicine. His work in anatomy, physiology, and medicine laid the foundations for medical knowledge in Europe for over 1,000 years. Historians still debate the extent to which Galen's theories were accurate, as many of his ideas were based on ancient Greek knowledge and practices. But what's clear is that his approach to medicine was groundbreaking. He believed in the importance of balance, particularly in the 4 humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. The imbalance of these humors was thought to cause illness, and Galen's treatments often focused on restoring harmony to the body's natural state. Galen's teachings were not limited to the physical body. He also believed that the mind and body were deeply connected, a concept that is now central to modern medicine. He understood the role that emotions and mental health played in overall well-being, and he advocated for a balanced lifestyle, with attention to both physical health and mental clarity. Imagine yourself in the Roman Empire, strolling through the bustling streets, the grandeur of the empire unfolding before you. The sense of order and structure is evident in everything around you, from the architecture to the public baths to the focus on personal health. There's a quiet sense of discipline in the air, a belief that the body and mind must work together in harmony for the individual to truly thrive. Just as the Roman Empire was vast and powerful, so too were its medical practices, shaping the course of history for centuries to come. The legacy of the Romans, their attention to detail, their focus on balance, and their belief in the mind-body connection, continue to influence modern health practices today. Now, as you sit beneath the stars of ancient Rome, let the soothing rhythm of the night carry you forward. The story of health, healing, and balance continues to unfold. A reminder that no matter where we are in the world, the pursuit of well-being is a timeless and universal journey. Let this thought carry you deeper into rest, knowing that you are part of the endless flow of history, where the past and present converge in the quiet stillness of the night. The night deepens further, a soft blanket of quiet settling over the world. The stars above continue their silent watch, their faint light reflecting the endless passage of time. The air is cooler now, crisp and fresh, carrying with it the whispers of ages long past. Each breath you take seems to carry you deeper into the peaceful rhythm of history, the steady beat of time gently rocking you into a restful state as we continue. Let's leave behind the grandeur of Rome and journey to a place that, though less famous, is just as influential: the ancient kingdom of Egypt. Picture yourself standing on the edge of the Nile River, the water flowing gently under the moonlight, its surface shimmering like liquid silver. The air is warm with a slight breeze, carrying the scent of the river and the land. The sound of the water, the rustling of the reeds, and the occasional call of a bird create a peaceful, serene atmosphere. Ancient Egypt, with its great pyramids and majestic temples, is often remembered for its monumental achievements. But beyond the grand architecture and the pharaohs, Egypt also had a profound understanding of medicine, particularly in the fields of surgery and anatomy. The Egyptians were among the first to systematically study the human body, and their knowledge of medicine was ahead of its time. Historians are still amazed at the sophistication of ancient Egyptian medical practices. They believed that illness was caused by an imbalance in the body, much like the Greeks and Romans, and they used a combination of herbs, rituals, and physical treatments to restore harmony. Egyptian healers were highly regarded, and their expertise in treating ailments was sought by people from all over the ancient world. One of the most remarkable aspects of Egyptian medicine was their understanding of surgery. While their tools were primitive by modern standards, they were able to perform complex procedures such as setting broken bones, removing tumors, and even performing eye surgeries. Ancient Egyptian papyri, like the Ebers papyrus, contain detailed descriptions of surgical procedures, along with remedies for various ailments. The Ebers papyrus, dating back to around 1550 BCE, is one of the oldest medical texts in existence, offering insight into the types of diseases and treatments practiced in ancient Egypt. What's particularly fascinating is that the Egyptians also understood the importance of hygiene and cleanliness. They practiced various forms of personal hygiene, including bathing and using oils and perfumes, and believed that cleanliness was essential for both physical health and spiritual well-being. The Egyptians understood that a healthy body was closely linked to a healthy soul, and their approach to medicine reflected this deep connection between the body and spirit. Imagine standing by the Nile, the gentle sound of the river flowing beside you, while in the distance an ancient healer tends to a patient. The healer's hands move with skill and precision, applying herbal remedies, perhaps even preparing for a surgical procedure. There's a sense of calm in the air, a feeling that healing is not just about curing the body, but about restoring balance, peace, and harmony as you breathe deeply. The image of ancient Egypt, its healers, its understanding of the body, and its reverence for life settles in your mind. The wisdom of these early medical practices is still with us today, influencing our approach to health and healing. The ancient Egyptians, with their deep knowledge of the body and their holistic approach to medicine, set the stage for much of what we know about health today. And just as the Nile flows endlessly, so does the knowledge pass down through the ages. With each breath, you're connected to the wisdom of the past, carried forward into the present, where it continues to shape our understanding of the world and ourselves. As the cool night air wraps around you, let the peace of Egypt's ancient wisdom fill you, and let the stillness of the river carry you deeper into rest. The past is never truly far away, lingers, quietly shaping our lives, guiding us even now. The night is deep and full of stillness now, as if the world itself has settled into a deep, restful sleep. The stars above are so clear, so distant, that it's easy to feel like time itself has stopped for just a moment. The cool air is refreshing, and the world around you seems to fade into quiet harmony. Every breath you take brings you deeper into the calm of the night, the peaceful pull of history, and the eternal flow of time as we continue. Let's leave Egypt behind and move toward the ancient world of Mesoamerica, where great civilizations once rose and fell under the warm sun. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a lush, green jungle, the sounds of birds and distant animals drifting on the wind. The air is humid, thick with the scent of the earth. As you look out across the towering pyramids and temples of the ancient Maya, The Maya were an advanced civilization that flourished in what is now Mexico and Central America. They are known for their remarkable achievements in mathematics, astronomy, and architecture, but they also had a deep understanding of medicine and healing. Like many ancient cultures, the Maya believed in a holistic approach to health, seeing the body and spirit as inseparable. Mayan healers, known as shaman, were skilled in the use of plants and herbs, many of which were used for both physical and spiritual healing. They also had a rich understanding of anatomy, particularly in relation to the human heart and the flow of blood. The Maya believed that the heart was the seat of the soul, and they often used rituals and ceremonies to heal both the body and the spirit. Historians are still fascinated by the depth of Mayan medical knowledge. The Maya developed a complex system of herbal medicine, using plants like chaya, sarsaparilla, and guaco to treat a variety of ailments. They also practiced surgery, including trepanation, a procedure in which a hole was drilled into the skull to treat head injuries or certain medical conditions. Though it may seem barbaric to us, trepanation was a sophisticated medical procedure that was performed with great skill and precision. What's especially remarkable about the Maya is their understanding of energy and balance. They believed that health was not just a matter of treating symptoms, but of restoring balance between the body, the spirit, and the natural world. This belief in the interconnectedness of all things is a central theme in many ancient medical traditions, and it resonates deeply with modern holistic health practices. Imagine walking through the jungle, the sound of the leaves rustling above you, and finding yourself in a small Mayan village. There, a healer prepares a medicinal brew, mixing herbs with care. The healer doesn't just focus on the physical ailment, but also on the person's emotional and spiritual well-being. There's a sense of calm in the air, as though the very rhythm of the jungle is in sync with the healer's work. As you breathe deeply, the image of the Mayan healers, their deep understanding of the body and spirit, and their connection to the natural world settles in your mind. The wisdom of the Maya, passed down through generations, continues to influence modern health practices, especially those that focus on holistic healing and balance. In the stillness of the jungle, let the ancient knowledge of the Maya fill you, guiding you into a deeper sense of harmony and balance. The ancient world, with its wisdom and its teachings, is never truly gone. It lingers, quietly shaping the present and offering its guidance when we are ready to listen now. As the night deepens, let the quiet pull of history guide you forward, knowing that each step we take, even in the quiet of the night, brings us closer to understanding the wisdom of the past. Let it carry you gently toward a peaceful rest as the jungle fades away into the quiet depths of time. The night is nearly complete now, the world wrapped in its final moments of silence, where the weight of time feels like a quiet, timeless presence. The stars are more brilliant, like an intricate pattern drawn across the fabric of the sky. The air is cooler still, the gentle breeze whispering through the trees and carrying with it the faintest scent of distant lands. You feel a deep sense of stillness, as if the world has come to rest, waiting for the next moment to unfold. Let us continue now, leaving behind the lush jungles of Mesoamerica and traveling to the distant lands of the ancient Persians, a civilization known for its vast empire and remarkable contributions to human culture. Picture yourself standing in the ancient city of Persepolis, its stone structures towering above you, the scent of warm stone and earth drifting in the air. The sound of distant winds sweeps through the ruins, and you can almost hear the echoes of an empire long gone, its grandeur still present in the air. The Persians, much like the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans, had a deep understanding of medicine and the human body. Though their approach was distinct, they were pioneers in many fields, from architecture to mathematics. But their contributions to the practice of medicine have long been overlooked. Yet, it was in the Persian Empire that one of the first hospitals was established, and the role of the physician was highly esteemed. The Persian physician, known as the Hakim, was revered in ancient Persia, not only for their knowledge of the human body, but for their ability to heal both the body and the soul. Persian medicine was heavily influenced by the works of the ancient Greeks, particularly Hippocrates and Galen. But the Persians also developed their own unique understanding of health. The ancient Persian Avicenna, known as Ibn Sina, was one of the most renowned figures in Islamic medicine. His work, the Canon of Medicine, became one of the most influential medical texts in the world, forming the foundation of medical knowledge in the Islamic world for centuries. Historians are still fascinated by the extent of Avicenna's knowledge and his pioneering work in medicine. His teachings on anatomy, pharmacology, and the principles of disease and healing helped shape the development of modern medicine. And his holistic approach to health, emphasizing the balance between the body and mind, resonates deeply with modern practices of integrative medicine. The Persian medical system also emphasized the importance of herbal remedies, with many plants and herbs being used to treat ailments ranging from digestive issues to skin conditions. Like the ancient Greeks and Egyptians, Persian physicians understood that health was a balance between the body, mind, and environment. They also placed great emphasis on preventative care, recognizing that it was better to maintain health than to treat illness after it had taken root. Imagine yourself in the bustling city of Persepolis, watching as a Persian healer prepares a mixture of herbs and oils, carefully crafting a remedy for a patient. The healer's hands move with precision, guided by centuries of knowledge passed down through generations. There is a sense of calm in this moment, as though the healer is not just treating the body, but the soul itself, restoring balance and harmony to the person's entire being. The Persian approach to medicine reminds us that healing is not just about curing disease. It's about understanding the body's relationship to the larger world and restoring balance. It's a reminder that health is not just the absence of illness, but the presence of harmony between all aspects of life. As you stand in the ruins of Persepolis, feel the quiet wisdom of the Persian healers surrounding you. The ancient knowledge they passed down, much like the ancient wisdom of other civilizations, continues to shape the world today. Their legacy is one of balance, understanding, and a deep respect for the interconnectedness of all things. As the night stretches on, let this image of the Persian healers and their timeless wisdom settle into your mind. The past is never far away, and as we move through time, we carry its teachings with us, shaping our understanding of health and well-being. The Persian Empire, though long gone, still speaks to us in the quiet moments, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of the world. The night is now at its fullest. The stars above a constant reminder of the vastness of time and space. The world seems to have come to a standstill, as if the universe itself is taking a breath, holding the moment between past and future. The air is cool and refreshing, and the steady whisper of the wind carries the quiet hum of the earth. You feel at peace, anchored in this moment, as if you are drifting between the echoes of history, listening to the ancient stories that continue to shape us. Let's continue, this time leaving behind the ancient cities of Persia and traveling to the land of medieval Europe, where a different kind of medicine began to take shape. Picture yourself standing in a small village, the scent of fresh bread and herbs filling the air as you walk through the cobbled streets. The sound of distant church bells tolls in the background, the steady rhythm of life in a world where time moves slowly and deliberately. In medieval Europe, medical knowledge was a mix of ancient wisdom, superstition, and Christian teachings. The early medieval period, in particular, was a time of uncertainty and hardship, with plagues and diseases sweeping through the land. But it was also a time when the foundations of modern medicine began to take shape, even amidst the shadows of superstition and fear. One of the most significant contributions of medieval medicine was the development of the monastic hospitals. These were places of healing run by monks and nuns who combined their religious devotion with a deep understanding of herbs, remedies, and basic medical practices. These monastic hospitals were the first places where the sick could receive care, and they played a crucial role in preserving medical knowledge during a time when much of the world had lost access to it. Historians are fascinated by the way that medieval European medicine balanced religion with practical knowledge. The monks and nuns who worked in these hospitals believed that healing was a divine calling, and they approached medicine with a sense of both compassion and reverence. Many of them were also skilled herbalists, using plants and natural remedies to treat everything from fevers to wounds. These early hospitals laid the groundwork for the development of the modern healthcare system, offering both spiritual care and medical treatment in one place. But perhaps the most interesting aspect of medieval medicine was its focus on the four humors, a theory that dated back to the Greeks and Romans. The belief was that health depended on the balance of four bodily fluids: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Disease was thought to arise from an imbalance in these humors, and treatments often involved attempts to restore balance through diet, bloodletting, and herbal remedies. Imagine walking through the stone hallways of a medieval monastic hospital, where the air is thick with the scent of herbs and incense. The monks move quietly, offering remedies to the sick, using their knowledge of the body and the natural world to heal those in need. The sense of peace in this place is palpable, as though the act of healing is a sacred duty, a responsibility to both the body and the soul. The medieval approach to medicine, though often misunderstood today, was rooted in the same principles of balance and harmony that have persisted throughout history. Whether it was the Egyptians, Greeks, or Persians, the core belief remained the same: that health is not just a physical state, but a reflection of the balance between the body, mind, and spirit. As the night deepens, let the quiet wisdom of medieval European healers fill your mind. The simplicity of their practices, their deep connection to both nature and faith, is a reminder that healing is an ancient art, passed down through the centuries. Their work laid the foundation for what would become modern medicine, and their devotion to care continues to resonate with us today. Now, as we slowly move toward the final stretch of this journey, feel the quiet pull of time, the steady rhythm of history, guiding you gently into a peaceful state of rest. The past has been our guide tonight, and its wisdom continues to shape the present. Even as we drift deeper into sleep, the night is now complete, the world silent and still beneath the soft glow of the stars. The air is cool and fresh, and the sounds of the world have faded into a peaceful hush. You feel deeply connected to the timeless flow of history, as if the stories of the past have wrapped themselves around you, offering their gentle wisdom and guidance. Everything is in its place, and you are at peace. As we close this journey, let us take one last step back in time, where we see the culmination of all that we've learned. The ancient wisdom of the Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Persians, Chinese, Maya, and medieval Europeans has been passed down through the ages, each culture adding its own knowledge, healing practices, and insights into the intricate web of human history. And now, as you lie beneath the stars, you realize that these stories, these quiet moments of wisdom and discovery, continue to shape the world today. The work of ancient healers, philosophers, and scientists echoes through the centuries, reminding us that the pursuit of health, balance, and well-being is a universal, timeless journey. As the world around you grows quieter still, let these thoughts settle into your mind. You are part of the ongoing story of humanity, connected to the past in ways both seen and unseen. The wisdom of the ages is always with us, guiding us through the complexities of life, helping us find peace amidst the chaos. Take a deep breath now, and let the stillness of the night carry you into a restful, peaceful sleep, knowing that the stories of the past will always be here, guiding us gently forward, even as we rest. Good night.